Howdy guys, Jimmy Song here. In this video, I'm going to talk about some things to think about when you start owning Bitcoin. So maybe you just bought Bitcoin, maybe you've held it for the past year, maybe you got into it 6 months ago, who knows? But here are some things that you absolutely have to think about when you're thinking about owning Bitcoin. So first thing is you definitely need to think about your security model. Now, most people, they just sort of buy Bitcoins on Coinbase or something like that and sort of leave it there. I'm going to tell you right now, that is not a good idea. If you do that and Coinbase goes under, unless you have some sort of special relationship with Coinbase, your funds are likely gone. And you're sort of trusting in their security, that their employees won't be stealing from them, that something crazy won't happen where that company goes under or there's some embezzlement or something like that. Generally, that's not a very good idea. So what is a good idea? Well, it is to control your own private keys, but that in of itself is actually a giant topic, because if you don't secure your private keys well, then you may have it stolen from you. The promise of Bitcoin is that you can be your own bank. But that also means that you have the responsibility for your own wealth. And most of us are not used to doing that. We like having undo buttons on everything and having some sort of recourse if something goes wrong. With Bitcoin, if somebody takes it from you, it's pretty much gone. And that kind of sucks. But at the same time, it teaches you to be really responsible with your keys. So that means you're going to have some system of backing up your stuff, making sure that that's not stealable. Wherever the private key is, that it's encrypted in the right way, and all of that. And that's a huge topic in of itself. A lot of people like Trezors. A lot of people use the Bitcoin Core wallet. A lot of other people, have their other own solutions that are more custom and use offline signing and so on. But that's something that you need to think about. You can't just leave coins on Coinbase, right? Or on whatever. Like it's very important that you think about where your wealth is stored and in a way that's not insecure. All right. Second thing that you need to think about when you own Bitcoin is, like how long are you going to hold? Now, for a lot of people, that might be forever until Bitcoin becomes the unit of account and everyone is using Bitcoin. At that point, I won't ever have to get out. It's good sentiment, but it might take us 20, 30 years to get there. Are you willing to really hold that long? Be honest with yourself, right? Like you might get financially squeezed between now and then. So at what point do you exit? What's your exit strategy if you need to have one? And that's something that, like, just in general with any investment, what are you hoping for? When do you know you've lost, or when do you know you've won? And then like exit accordingly. That's a very important thing. And it takes some discipline. It takes some knowing yourself, and it takes some sort of soul searching to figure out what's important to you, right? Like, why are you doing this, and what are you hoping for as a result? And that is not entirely obvious. So that's the second thing that you need to think about. The third thing is, well, you need to think not just about the security and the exit strategy, but also what happens if you go away, right? Like if something happens to you, maybe you die, maybe you have some sort of traumatic brain injury. How do you handle that, right? Like, how do you make sure that the wealth that you've stored goes to the right people, or that it comes back? And this is just something that a lot of responsible people generally do, is do some form of estate planning. And that is not trivial with Bitcoin. And there aren't really great solutions in this area yet. And it requires, sort of revealing to people at the right time. I think once Schnorr is around and Graftroot is around, things like that, it'll make this sort of thing a lot easier, or at least it makes the potential for better solutions to come out, because you don't have to reveal that these people even have those keys until a certain time, so they can't really collude with each other and take that money away from you or something like that. So these are all things to think very hard about if you own Bitcoin. And we're getting towards the end of the year. These are things that you should maybe think about as New Year's resolutions to make sure that you secure your wealth. Bear markets are great for this sort of thing. If you have a good setup, then you can just sort of coast afterward. But you need to do the hard work now of securing what wealth you have. Hope that helps you. And this song is done.